7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
¿Cómo están todos? Soy la Comadre Claudia, aquí de RadioCristalUSA.com. How are you doing today on this Tuesday? And just so you know that even though we record on Tuesday, which by the way, welcome, bienvenidos a todos, you can also go back and listen once again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 o'clock in the morning and again at 10 o'clock at night. Así es que si no pudieron escucharnos hoy o vernos o saber de mi nueva super comadre, no se les olvide que el show se repite los viernes, sábados y los domingos a las 10 de la mañana y a las 10 de la noche por RadioCristalUSA.com. So you can always come back and join us again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And go back to our Facebook page. Give us a like, share it, and come and enjoy the guests that I'm having today, as well as the past guests that I've had on La Super Comadre Claudia Show. Bienvenidos a todos. I am excited to be here and to just, as you know, elevate a person's journey, a person's story, a person's work, their mission, because you never know how that is going to maybe connect someone to a resource or someone to a journey or someone to just an experience that could help them in life. So, bienvenidos a todos. Welcome, welcome. I'm excited. A ver, ¿dónde está mi super comadre Liliana? ¿Dónde está mi super comadre Liliana? ¿Cómo estás, amiga?
¡Hola!
¡Woo!
Aquí estamos. Y mira, ¿quién creen que me está visitando aquí en la cabina?
¿Quién es?
Se metió sin permiso. Es la perrita de mis papis.
Oh, ¿cómo se llama?
Oh, Lola.
Lola.
Le acaban de quitar todo su cabello, entonces se ve rarísima. Sí,
¿O le cortaron? ¿Le dieron haircut?
Sí, tenía mucho cabello y para que le crezca cabello nuevo.
Pues bienvenida Lola también. Lola, la gran perrita, cachorra. Lola, la gran cachorra. She's gonna start singing too.
¿Cómo estás, comadre? ¿Y cómo está tu gran invitada que está aquí? Oye, aquí ya está tu gran invitada. Preséntanosla y luego se van a quedar platicando. Pero antes de eso, recuerda que voy a decir todo lo que tenemos acerca de nuestros patrocinadores y algunos premios.
Awesome.
Dinos quién es nuestra gran invitada, comadre.
Mira, mi nueva super comadre de esta semana es una mujer super maravilla. Her name is DJ Kerry Beats. That's her name, but her other name is also known as Karina López.
You cannot hear you, Kerry Beats. A ver, prende tu micrófono. Ahí.
Hola a todos.
Ajá, ¿cómo estás?
Todo bien aquí desde Houston. ¿Cómo están?
We're excited to know more about you. La comadre siempre nos trae personas súper interesantes a su show. Y yo estoy aquí atrás de cámaras, atrás de micrófonos, haciendo aquí los controles para que todo salga bien. Y de verdad quiero invitar a todos a que se queden con nosotros porque la super comadre va a estar hablando con Kerry Beats y tiene ahí unas sorpresitas para todos nosotros, ¿eh? Además que tiene un premio, la super comadre, el día de hoy va a regalar una cena para 2 personas para ir a comer a Patrón Grill and Humble. Así que la comadre va a regalar una cena para 2 personas el día de hoy. Nos vemos, comadre. Yo me quedo aquí. Recuerden que el día de hoy el show es patrocinado por Patrón Grill Humble. La super comadre Claudia se queda aquí con su gran invitada. Chao, chao.
Gracias, Liliana. Muchas gracias. Woo! So I am so ready to just share who you are and what you do, where you're from, and where you're going. So this is what La Super Comadre Show is all about. It's just, you know, you never know who you might be inspiring, and you probably already inspiring a lot of people. And just earlier, before we came on, my daughter passed by, and I even said, hey, remember that time you used to pretend like you would DJ? You put on like some headphones, and there was nothing in front of her. It was just a counter. She would just move her hands. So it's inspiring. And to see a woman, a Latina, doing what you do, dude, you had me at that, at all. Because I'm a mom. I used to be your age at one point, and now I have 2 girls that I'm doing my best to kind of get them to find what they love and do. So, bienvenida, welcome, DJ Kerry Beats. Welcome to La Super Comadre Show.
Muchas gracias, Claudia. Gracias por tenerme en La Super Comadre Show tonight. I'm super excited. And, you know, as I was... I can talk about myself, but
yeah,
I was listening. But when I was listening, you know, introduce myself, I realized, wow, you know, I never thought being a DJ was. I didn't know how much of a unicorn I was doing this. I was just doing what I really like to do, and it's the same story for being a Latina engineer. It's the exact same story. And I realized I've done it twice, but nobody ever told me, oh, girls don't do that. But then I realized, wow, I'm a brown unicorn in both places, because yes, some people look out to me, you know, look como que
look
up to me.
Yes.
And nobody told me I was special. I was just following my passion in both places, you know, my engineering and my DJ. So I'm just really thankful to be here. Really thankful that I realized what I like. I just turned 31. I'm thankful I'm doing this early on. I feel like 30s are your 20s, but you already know what you like. So
yes. And I'm in my 40s, so the 40s are the new 30s. So I voy detrás de ti. I mean, enfrente de ti. So you know what? Sometimes we don't realize until someone else says it, and you're right. And and just for further, always give yourself that cheerleading. Porque si nadie más te lo va a hacer, pues tú sola te tienes que dar tus porras, you know. So, I mean, I love your story that what you have two passions. And like you just said, you've seen that you are unique in these two fields. So talk about the field where you just like, when I caught up with you before we came on, you were like, I got to get dressed. And me too. I didn't have this on early. I was getting dressed, you know, because we want like, you know, because that's what we do. And you said, me tengo que cambiar de otro trabajo, and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, I know how you feel. But then I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is a woman who I just want you to share your story of engineer. I almost see it like engineer by day and then DJ by night, I guess. Do you ever get?
That's so funny. That's exactly what it is. And I just had a Houston Chronicle article. Shout out to Blanca Beltran for your love and support. I just had, you know, she helped me get on that, and that's how that's my line. I'm an engineer by day, DJ by night. I'm Puerto Rican Dominican. I have my Dominican drum right here.
Ooh,
a gift from my dad. That's when I was starting. But my favorite page, if you guys want to show it, it's my Instagram. And then, you know, I can talk you through some of the things that I've done. And it kind of shows my story as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I am Puerto Rican. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Dominican parents, always been identified with anything tropical. Like, don't ask me how I learned how to dance. I just did. And then I got better when I got to Houston, taking classes. But dancing is really important to me. And I feel like that part connected me back to music, to arts. And I had people tell me, well, if you want to be a DJ, you need to do this, but I never did it. Yeah. My story is I've always felt like I had to prove myself. I could have started being a DJ way back. Let me show you. I have this equipment right here. I have this is what I call my baby controller. This is an SB2. It's my baby controller. I've had this guy at least 4 years now. And I started DJing professionally only a year ago.
Just a year ago.
Because I always thought I had to be perfect before I started. So, I mean, I'm jumping all over the place to tell you that I'm out here telling my story so that I can inspire more girls. Yes. And especially, you know, Latina, brown, people of color.
Yes.
We have a lot of passions, and a lot of us goes through life, you know, thinking we have to stick to one of them, and we can do multiple things and be good at a couple of them. But the important thing is to believe that you can do it. And at some point, I didn't believe I could do it. And I took forever to start. I was super successful. Again, I'm an environmental engineer,
Yes.
successful at my job. But I could have done this way earlier. So if I can inspire at least one girl to actually, you know, buy the baby controller
I love
start
it.
practicing, she's gonna be so much better, you know, in 1 year. Like, you have no idea how much you can learn. So I'll stop right there.
You know, this is an amazing and a beautiful story that you are sharing, because some things that came to mind right now, and this is something that a lot of maybe I'm over speaking for people, but it's you talked about, you said, I didn't do it because I thought that I had to be perfect in order to do it. And you also said, well, someone said I should do it this way, but you held on to, no, I want to do it this way. That, you know, those two things were so powerful. And then the word passion. So those three things, I just want to touch base on them and the importance of this story and why you're here. Because not only are you here as a role model to Latinitas like my daughters, you know, women of color, women maybe of not the best economic means that have children and they're working really hard, that family, but to be someone that they can look at and look up to and look behind and be behind and around you, for you to do that. It is so necessary, because a lot of us probably grew up thinking, si no puedes, no, mejor no lo hagas. Or there's not that either you do it right the first time or you don't do it at all. Or then when you do get that job or that position and you stop and think, well, am I that good enough? Am I good enough for that? Imposter syndrome. So you are breaking that. I don't know if you know this, but you're already letting little young women that look like you and I know that it's possible, that if that ever crosses their mind or it comes out of a word from somebody else, they can always go back and say, oh no, well, I know, you know, I saw DJ Kerry Beats and she's an engineer by day and a DJ by night. So that's all they know, you know? Unlike me, where I had to like hold and be and shown, and I had to figure this out. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know there were people like me that wrote books, that were authors.
Yeah. Representation matters.
It does.
Representation matters. And again, Claudia, you know, I didn't know how, again, a brown unicorn I was until I went for it. It doesn't need to be like that, right? We have access to information, you know, network. You know, we can start. I don't need to be the only one. I wish I had a crew of other girls that are artists around me. So
you know what? And it's gonna happen. It's happening. It is happening.
Yeah, I'm slowly building. And I mean, I just want to get a quick shout out. Something that I always mention within my story is I had another woman bring me up with her. Like, she will show me how to plug cables, how to plug speakers, how to do bars, rooftop, anything, any kind of place. And that was the DJ Ilse. So I always give her a shout out, because it's so important to have someone. She is the Latina DJ in Houston, right? So for her to do that was really critical for my success, because starting out, I could have been discouraged by a lot of people saying, oh no, you're not good, or no, you know what? No. And she was like, well, you're new, but let me show you some things you need to know. And the rest, you know, I practice, I do my homework, but you need someone, you know, and it's so important, you know, it's so cool when you have another woman do that with you. You're like, whoa, I guess we can all, you know, I guess there's, you know, for all of us. Yes. Which is different. Yeah.
You know, and one thing you said right now before I get to this quote, your quote, that I want to connect it to, we do have a few people chiming in. Paloma, hola, ¿cómo está, comadre? She's saying, hola, comadres todas guapas. Thank you.
Hola.
Hello, hola to Liliana and Claudia. And then he also said, when people say DJ, I always assume the DJ will be male. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And we're gonna change that. Hold on, you know, we're gonna change that as we change, you know, engineering. right? Like we're growing by, every day. So I'm excited to be here. This is my dream. I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna have DJ Kerry Beats for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it's really important to find people to start doing. Something that I also like to mention is it is really important to start doing. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what it is. I started, in the middle of the pandemic,
Mhm.
and I started on Twitch. I took it down, but this is my light, my mic. This is for to hold my mic.
Wow.
I started on Twitch streaming my sets, and I look back and I was like, man, how did I get the courage? But then I got random people to
Yeah.
stay, and they were like, no, Karina, don't go. Like, it's your Friday night. And then I was still until 2 a.m. in my house DJing for random people that liked my show. So,
Wow.
and it's funny, some of those people actually come out to the shows now. So I
That's
created a community first
cool.
with what I had. So you have to start with what you have. It doesn't matter if it's DJing, art, painting, a radio show, whatever it is. You need
Yes.
to start with what you have, because if I was not already out there making mistakes, because I was looking at my sets, I was like, yeah, that was rough. But I was already out there, and that helped me figure out what I had to do to get to the next step. And then I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I continue to practice every day. And it's so cool to look back and think, wow, I should have done this a year ago. It wasn't that scary, right? So I just want to encourage more people to do that, because, again, I wish I had started earlier. At 23, I didn't have nothing to prove to no one.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm gonna push back on something. You've said it twice. I wish I could have started earlier, but you know what? You are where you need to be. You are where you need to be. It just wasn't the time yet. But this is your time, and you are building it, and you're putting yourself out there. So don't ever go back again and beat yourself up for that, because you are where you need to be at the exact moment. And that, right, that is king for coming out of the pandemic. Even during the pandemic, one of my quotes was, only art will get us through the pandemic. Art, when I say art, I mean music, poetry, whatever we were doing to be able to connect with online, or watching the release on Netflix of something, I think I remember when they put the Alexander Hamilton show on Disney, and everybody waited for it to appear. We were all home. It was like, we needed that. We needed that music. We needed that. So you are where you need to be.
I am, and I have to repeat that to myself every day.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We had nothing. Everything happens the way the universe aligns it to happen. So I just want to remind everyone, Patron Grill is going to be sponsoring a gift, a raffle, I guess you would say. We have a prize, dinner for two at Patron Grill in Humble, Texas. So if you're listening and you're liking and you send a message and we post it up there and you share it, we're going to put your name and we're going to draw your name and see if you get that food, and you can go out there and enjoy Patron Grill up in Humble. So you said that you thought you had to be perfect to do this, but then you said when you got there, you realized, you just got to do it. I love that message. It's almost like, just do it. It doesn't matter. Just give it a shot. And I love how you said, I didn't, I noticed now, I listen back, and you're like, oh man, but that's work, and that's that growth. How you're like now growing, you can go back and listen, like, okay, I'm going to change it. I'm going to not do this or do that. I mean, this right here is a whole lesson for young folks that, that are out there. And there's a lot of people right now that are exploring their talent. And they're like, you know what? I do this during the day, but because they've been at home with the pandemic, now maybe I could do this. So that's what I'm saying. This is we're at the right crossroads, because as we come out of this, vaccinated, blah, 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 finally, ya se calmó más de todo esto de COVID. I believe all this stuff that's been online, like those platforms, are just going to continue to explode in person, because people are craving people. People want to continue healing physically, emotionally, mentally. And I can attest to that, because I have 2 kids at home, and, we do our best, but it's affected them to be at home. So I'm excited for you. So I want to ask you this. when you saw yourself as that unicorn, when you figured that out, and then you got into the DJ business, the world, what was your biggest, I guess, lesson, challenge that challenged you? And how did you get through that? How did you work that out? I know you probably have a number, but just share one that's right there at the forefront.
Pay equity.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big,
you know,
say it again.
you have
Say it again. Say it loud to people in the back.
it's pay equity. Yeah, it's pay equity. One thing that I noticed when I started is you really need, and again, I learned this. I have my mentors too. You know, I talk to other DJs that have been doing this for longer, and you need to know your worth. You always bring something to the table. And when I started, you know, it's really easy to let other people put a price on your value, you know, on your time and what you bring to the table. So you really need to know your value in order to challenge it back and say, you know what? No, I bring people, I have great energy. This is what I think should be fair. And it took me a while because some people, yeah, you cannot let anyone put a price on your time and your skills. Yeah, that's it. Like that's my number one, you know, it was obvious when I started DJing.
Yeah. So now let's take
I lost you, Claudia.
I'm right here. Can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, there you go.
Okay. So now I'm going to take you into your day world, your day job, being the badass Latina engineer that you are. So when you stepped into that role, I don't know if you follow the traditional where they do like an internship at a company and then maybe they'll adopt you, maybe they won't. And you know, how does that, you know, talk about when you landed that into that world? What was the biggest challenge, lesson, takeaway that you can share?
Yeah, so I started as an intern. I work for a major oil and gas company. Like I said, I'm an environmental engineer. So I started doing environmental permitting work. And something that's really important in my story, I was part of a network of Hispanic engineers. It's called SHEP, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. I got my first internship in, oh my God, 10 years ago at a conference. And I had 2 summers, you know, one in Houston, one in Pittsburgh. And yeah, it's like that. It's like, let me make sure that I get along with all the right people and that I create my network and that I learn as much as possible. I was so excited. It's not related, but just know that I truly love environmental engineering. I was so excited to go back to school to say, oh, wow, now I actually get to learn what people were talking, like air permitting. I didn't know what people were talking back then. And then I was excited to catch up at school, you know, during the school year. So, oh, now I get to learn about that. So, you know, it all aligns, and they ended up, you know, hiring me as a full-time, 2013. Yeah, and I saw the offer. I was like, well, Mom, I guess I'm moving to Houston. And it was, it was so rough. I was by myself. I came to this city by myself. I'm so thankful for Houston. I love getting involved with the community because Houston has been so welcoming. There's so much culture. There's so much diversity in Houston, but I love Houston. You know, anything that you want, you can find in Houston. Food, people, culture, dances, anything. Sports. So one realization that I had, you know, I've done 2 internships, you know, I'm there all cute, you know, my long sleeve, because I thought I had to look like somebody else. I won't say who, but I have there my long sleeves and like, I lost you?
No, I'm here. Keep going.
I was there with my long sleeves and my black slacks and my ponytail, and I was like, you know, a professional, because curly hair. Oh my God, that's not professional, Karina. You always have to straighten it. So I'm like there, and then I'm like, okay, well, I've done 2 internships. I'm ready to go. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And then they tell me, hold on, hold your horses. Do this clerical work.
What?
And I was like, don't you know I'm an engineer? Like, I already know all this because I've interned here twice. I'm ready. I was like, oh, cute. I was so cute. I was like, now
Yeah.
I used to wear my colors, my blues, my big hair, but before I wasn't like that.
Yeah,
So biggest realization is I was still a unicorn. And I didn't know because I was just being an environmental engineer and saving the planet. I was so naive. So biggest realization, we Latinas engineers are a minority in the workplace. And my biggest realization was, again, well, I need to find my crew. So, I slowly built my network, and they all helped me. They were all women, actually. Helped me get from one job to the next. I got promotions like every 2 years. I've done 4 jobs in 7 years. Every 2 years, more or less, like I change or I move up. So that's important to me because I've been very vocal about that. I said, well, you told me I was gonna get a rotation, and then my boss at that time, I hope he's not watching, he would say, no, you have to do 2 more years because XYZ. But I knew what was best for me was to get the rotation early on and go to the field. Because if you don't go to the field, it's really hard to go up. I was actually in the field today. So yeah, I cannot tell you about it, but I was in the field and I go back and forth. But the thing is, in my biggest realization, I was still a unicorn. I didn't know it. I had to find my people, and I had to look out for me. And nobody's gonna tell you, do this, do that, so you can progress. You have to build it yourself. I have a career map. I can tell you where I want to be in 3 to 5 years in my engineering career as well. But again, I think it's still key to find those people. Find people that look like you. I know it doesn't sound, it might not be intuitive, but if you find those people, you can survive any corporate job.
There you go. Now, you're absolutely right about that. You said a lot of amazing words of wisdom. You're sharing right now. You're already nurturing somebody that's out there that needs the growth, someone that wants to grow and not sure where to go and how to do it. You have just literally have set it up for a young, maybe someone that's about to graduate from high school, about to graduate from college, about to, go into their work field. What is it that I can do for myself? Advocating for yourself, that's a big one. I love how you brought that up, that you had to look out for you. And that's not a big thing that maybe not you, maybe we can have that. Maybe we have a similar thing where you grow up and you just take care of each other, but then the last person you take care of is yourself. And I see that a lot of women, that they cargan muchas cosas para todos los demás, y luego they keep, and then they're the last ones that they help or support or whatever you replenish, como se dice, So with that, I'm just sitting here in awe listening to your story. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask as well is, I've seen you've seen this immense growth. Where do you see this like in a year? What is maybe one goal at the top of your list that where's DJ Kerry Beats going to be performing or doing? What's next? Take us on that journey, because once you speak it happens.
A natural path for a DJ is to start producing. So I've had a couple of projects where I collaborated with Grammy-winning producers. In 1 year, I want to be doing that myself.
Awesome.
And that's where I'm going. I want to produce. I want to create my own remixes, be on the other side of music production. So that's where I want to be. And if I've done this within a year, I cannot even imagine how it's going to be in 1 year. So yeah, that's where I want to be.
I love it. I love how you know exactly. So whoever's listening, when you listen to this, if you're not listening to it live right now, we are on RadioCrystalUSA.com live right now. It's being recorded. It gets repeated again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and again at 10 o'clock at night. And also it's saved here in our Facebook world. So if you missed it, come back and watch. Listen, learn, share, and every guest I bring on is here to share their life, to share their story. This is what this is about, because you never know who this might affect, or whose heart this might touch, whose mind needs to feel this or hear this. So once again, my super comadre, DJ Kerry Beats, Karina Lopez. So Karina, you were talking so many words you said, and I like to write words. It's almost like
You're a writer.
and it gives, yes, I write a lot. It gives me a lot of animal. And then it helps me if ever someone needs to hear something, I can then quote, DJ Kerry Beats said. So you said things like,
I love that.
change. I love that picture, girl. Change to fit.
Rachel now.
Who is it?
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, her name is Rachel. Rachel now.
Hold on to me. So when you stepped into that role and you were changing to fit, I mean, how powerful did you feel once you said, once you felt I need to hold on to me? What made you say, I got to do how I do? What was it?
Well, Claudia, you really made me think.
Was it a person? Was it an experience? Was it?
No, let me tell you. I met this other engineer. Her name is Agneta. Indian. Super sweet, super successful engineer too, project engineer. And I saw how she could be girly at work, but still, or reflect her style, but still be super professional and super successful. And I saw she was wearing dresses, and I was like, I guess I can do the same. And it was my relationship with seeing someone else at work be an engineer, successful, but still she can be girly. And then I bought the same dress in all colors, and then and she wore it with blazers.
Yeah,
dress with blazer and flats. Claudia, I bought them all. I have blue, green, yellow, red, bunch of reds, bunch of blacks, big statement necklaces. I wear my hair big.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a uniform after that. I don't even know the last time I bought a long sleeve.
Nice.
It was seeing someone else. That's
so
funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah, and that's an amazing story, because this connects back to the importance of mentors and mentorship. That right there, like you are now mentoring people as you speak this. We work so hard at changing ourselves to fit into something, whether it's a male-dominated industry or maybe Eurocentric, culture, what have you, that we have so much in ourselves, that in our family, in that drum that's sitting behind you, that we need to exemplify always who we are. Like right now, when you're sharing that story, reminded me of right after an election where, and this is a disclaimer. This has everything to do with La Super Comadre. What I'm going to say has nothing to do with my guest or with the station. I was just super bummed with the person who won about 4 years ago. And then I was taken out to lunch by another comadre who is from Mexico. And we were going to the house of someone that was from Tibet, who was married to someone that was from, Japan. Okay, so then imagine the food that was going to be out there. Oh my gosh, everyone brought all, and the women that we were going to go to have lunch with, they were older than me. They were like my mom's age. And they were like all these moms that got together, las mamás de las amigas that got together and brought food. And it was like an international buffet. And then we were a little bummed, and that's just my personal thing, nothing to do with the station or my guests. And one of the moms there, with the older ladies, we call them the older mamas, that were the mamas of the people our age, said, you're going to be fine. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that if you're Muslim, be more Muslim. Wear who you are. Go to your, don't be afraid to go and practice your religion. If you're this, she was giving all of us, and if you're that, be more of that. And then she ended with, and if you're gay, be more gay. I mean, that was this wise woman who said, pretty much hold on to you. No, don't let anything around you, Don't let what's happening or what is traditionally done affect who you are and who you come from. And that, because then it's almost saying, I belong. I've always been here, and I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be here, and there's going to be more people that I'm going to be mentoring behind me. So, hágase un lado. So thank you for sharing that.
No, and thank you for that story. You know, at some point I did a strengths assessment.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple ones out there, no one, endorsed, but there are a couple ones. There's the Gallup one, and something that I learned is that we're always trying to work on our weaknesses. Always trying to work on our weaknesses. But what this theory says is that the same thing you said. How amazing it would be. Yeah, be yourself. How amazing it is if you actually just do what you're good at and do more of what you're good at. Yeah. Think about it. Wow. Why are we always trying to work on our weaknesses if we already have strengths? Just identify those strengths and go for that. Just, and it takes us a little bit, but again, I would encourage everyone to find those strengths, personal, professionally, and just do more of that.
I love it.
It's proven to work.
I love it. I'm a big believer that when you do something you love, the money will follow. Because that's always the thing. Was no, because I gotta do this, and yes, I get it. You need to do what you gotta do. Like someone told me not too long ago, like last week, I went to a meeting, and all of a sudden, people were telling me, this is your path. You need to do that. Own it, claim it. And I'm like, I already, yeah, you're right. I do that. And then it was the idea of owning it, of claiming it, of whatever it is that you want to do. Follow that passion, and the money will follow. And if and it's so true. And surrounding your, but it doesn't happen like in a vacuum. You said a lot of things that need to happen in order for that to happen. You said mentorship. You said advocating for yourself. You said having your crew. That is so important. Your crew of super comadres and compadres are going to be there to, like, hey, we've been down this path. Why don't you try this one? That one didn't work. You need that. You said, don't change to fit. Hold on to who you are. Know your worth. Know your value. And look out for you, advocate. And you also said, and this right here is gold. Why do we always work on our weaknesses?
Once I learned that, I was like, wow, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So
why not focus on what nos gusta hacerlo y tratar de hacerlo mucho más? Y a ver cómo.
And that's how you're happier too.
Yeah.
That's how you just are happy.
Exactly. So speaking of happy, talk to me about pandemic. Talk to me how you dealt with the cuarentena and having to maybe, I don't know if you had to stay home or if your office shut down, but coming out of this pandemic, what has been how did you deal with it, I guess, first of all? How did you nourish yourself during that time? And then second, what is one big thing you're taking away from this?
You'll be amazed, but when the pandemic started, I was completely obsessed. I would clean my groceries. I would only run in the mornings really, really early when nobody was around, so I wouldn't have to cross people. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be worried about crossing people running because, did I run too close? Mm. That's not healthy. It doesn't work. And then I slowly started, going out a little bit more and more. But my one realization was how much exercising helped me. One thing that was constant during the pandemic, even with all my COVID stages, like my wiping down groceries, to who I am today, exercising was super important. Even, if it was 6 a.m. in the morning, I had to get that run in. And then I started doing it at night before the sunset. Yeah. And something that I realized is we had a lot of resources. I discovered a park right next to my house that I never went to. Why? Because I never had to. Okay. Beautiful park. And you know, so many trainings that I wanted to do. I took at it like from the positive side. And, you know, I've gotten really better at saying no, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, because now I've
Yeah.
shifted my priorities. Because after this, you know, before it was really easy to, oh, you want to come to this? That's other people's priority.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I know what I want to get better at. Like I know what I have to practice on. I enjoy being home. You know, if I'm not working, I want to be home. And it's so much easier for me to say no, no explanations now.
Love it.
Before it was like, no, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. You know what? I'm not gonna make it. I'm just gonna be home. What I have to do, I'm just gonna be home.
And not to explain why. You don't have to make
No.
it. Ese porque me sacaron un diente or whatever. You know, you don't have to.
No, because people have learned, you know, because now if you really want to connect with someone, it's okay. You can just call them. You can do Zoom.
True.
Before we felt like, I mean, there's value in socializing, but I felt like I just honed in into the things that really, really, really bring me joy.
There you
And
go.
I say yes to those things. I've been here right now, you know. You have to say yes to the things that really make you feel happy, because you don't know if you're going to get another day.
Exactamente.
So just valuing your time more again.
I just wrote a book of quotes here. I don't know if you know that.
I need those quotes. I'm going to make them little slides for my Instagram.
Yes, or put them on a shirt. I'm just gonna it looks all raw. It's all handwritten, but
send me a picture. I'm gonna create the little quotes
you need to create. And I don't know how you're gonna include them whenever you promote your music or another artist that you're producing. You need to, and then put your little initials underneath there somewhere.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do that. That's not hard. Canva.
Yeah, magnets, T-shirts.
Yeah, there's so many things. I just got this really cool.
I'm out there.
No, I mean I will. I just got these really cool like business cards that you just scan them. It's only one, you scan it, and everybody gets your info. So.
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting there.
QR code, maybe a QR code on it.
And it has near NTF or MFT. Like you tap it.
Okay, got it. Oh, I like
so
that.
I'm not gonna give out business cards. I'm just gonna tap it, and then they'll have all my social media, all of my information.
That's the environmental engineer.
Yeah, and I got it in bamboo too. Yeah,
I love it. I mean, that's totally like what needs to be. See, more women ran this country and this world.
Yes.
We'd be in a better position. But hey, we got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you know, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Pues tenemos unos saludos aquí. DJ Kerry Beats. We have Linlo. Dijo, she agrees. Be yourself. Linlo said, hola.
Yes.
Chris Vignon wants to know, you know, who were some of your influences? You know, was it someone like Celia Cruz? Who influenced you?
That is so funny. I want to show something, but I have to get off camera for a minute.
Okay. Go ahead and get off camera, and I'll talk a little bit.
Let me show you.
Yeah. Well, while she goes and gets something to share with us, DJ Kerry Beats, I just want to remind you, no se les olvide que tenemos aquí una cena para dos para el patrón Grill en Ambo. Así es que, por favor, haces un like, un comentario, y también, pues, reparten este show ahorita. Así se podemos poner tu nombre. Vamos a poner tu nombre en una rifa para poder sacar el nombrecito y a ver quién se gana. La cena para dos para Patrón Grill en Ambo. Y aquí estamos hablando con mi super comadre nueva. Ella se llama Karina López. Ella es un DJ. Y ella está aquí para dar mucho de su vida, su influencia, ¿qué la influyó? Creo que se dice así, comadre Liliana. En hacer el trabajo que ella hace. Ella es ingeniera, también es DJ, esa es su pasión, y aquí estamos para aprender más de ella, porque quizás en su casa a lo mejor tú te gustaría hacer algo así, o a lo mejor un cambio en tu trabajo y hacer otra cosa que a ti te gusta mucho más que lo que estás haciendo. O quizás una niña esté escuchando, ¿verdad? Y que le gusta la música, y aquí tenemos a alguien que ella pueda aprender, ver y conocer, y ojalá que motivarla a seguir haciendo lo que a ella le guste, quizás la música y hacer DJ. como DJ Kerry Beats, Karina Lopez. All right, Karina, what you got for us?
Okay, so again, Dominican parents. Mi papá son dominicanos. Algo bien grande para mí. Yo crecí escuchando merengue típico.
Wow.
Eso es un LRP. Ok, Fefita tiene como 70 años. Esta mujer todavía toca. Ella toca merengue típico. Todavía toca. Tiene 1000 cirugías, pero es bella. Ella es como todo el mundo la conoce en República Dominicana. So, yo crecí escuchando merengue, por eso tengo mi tambora. Aquí, no me pregunten, la toco mal, pero yo toco la tambora. Entonces, pues en realidad, o sea, y el merengue te lleva la salsa, bachata.
Sí.
So, mis influencias son más, cuando hablamos del Caribe, hablo más del merengue, se llama merengue ripiao, que es el dominicano, obviamente las salsas de Puerto Rico, y mucha bachata, Frank Reyes, son muchas bachatas que crecí escuchando de mi papá. So, yo empecé tocando bachata en realidad, y después fue que me expandí a tocar de todo, top 40. Pero pues sí, bachata, salsa, merengue, me encanta. Yo bailo también.
¿Sabes qué? Te voy a comentar ahorita porque because we were working. I got the chance to see you in action about 2 weeks ago, and it's the sunset or the rooftop. ¿Cómo se llama?
Yes, see me at the rooftop every Thursday.
It was beautiful, and especially right now, I'm still just trying to slowly get back in. I did a little bit of dancing. I did sleep for the next 2 days though, but I have been saving my energy because I have some super comadres that told me about you already. It was Elba Treviño, who is an amazing guide, trainer, and she kicked my butt yesterday. So thank you, super comadre Elba from Champions Club. And she said, hey, tell that girl over there you're going to interview that she better show up to her.
Yes. Yes, no, I mean...
I better not show up. I'm like, I'll be there.
Yes,
pass you the message. Digan to tell you. Don't forget to go by.
Oh, I had to go pick up my meals. No, I mean, again, exercising was with Champions Club. Champions Club, it all goes back to the people, right? If it wasn't, Elba, shout out to Elba Treviño. Yes. If it wasn't for her, I would have made so many excuses not to work out in this pandemic. You always need someone to kind of pull you, at least I do. And that changed my whole perspective on life. Literally, like it was the only positive thing I had all day, and all of like grimness of like COVID. So yeah, shout out to Champions Club. We have a big conference coming up. May 22nd. We're gonna drop the link.
May 22nd, Champions Club conference. It's going to be filled with so many amazing speakers, motivate you, inspire you, be touched by someone's journey that could, support yours. So I'm excited to be there too. I can't wait. It's gonna be at the Rice Hotel, and we'll drop the information so you know how to get there and what to expect. Another super comadre, Blanca Beltran. She is an amazing woman, and she and I, we're like, let's do something, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And she goes, well, I'm gonna go to this place. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And DJ, and you were gonna be there. I'm like, oh my god, I finally get a chance to experience her. So this was literally probably my first time. Like since recovering and getting out there a little bit more. You were the first real.
Thank you so much.
It was a big deal. And I love how you talked about your inspiration, porque lo que me gusta de ti es que estás tocando música de diferentes eras y también sonido, and then you bring one out, and next thing you know, I'm dancing to something I used to dance to in high school, and then all of a sudden it turns into something de ahorita, y luego un poco de inglés, and back to... You're amazing. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, you will be surprised. A lot of the songs that are popular right now, they have samples from somewhere else. You're like, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, of course you've heard that. It's a sample from this other dancehall song. So I bring the dancehall and then I put the reggaeton, and then people look at me. People are like, I know what you did there. I can do it. I can see that. And it's just a good time. I just love it.
I love it. So when you're there playing and you show up at whatever venue, let's say like Rooftop or another venue downtown, do you show up and that's going to go back to, do you change to fit, or do you hold on to what you play? Do they tell you what type of music to play, or do you say, this is how I come?
No, really. This time, I always play for the crowd. That's one thing. and I'm mostly a Latin DJ right now. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Latin DJ. You book me for hip hop, I'm probably gonna say no because
Yeah.
I know my lane. So I played for the crowd, but the funny thing is that they didn't tell me, oh, it's gonna be a Latin night. We didn't put the seal on Latin night at all, because it's a diverse crowd. But the other day I was walking into Sunset and a guy told me, oh, I'm so excited to be here. I hear it's Latin night. I'm like, where? Like, I guess it ends up being Latin night, but we never really market it as Latin, but you attract that people, right? So it ends up being really Latin. It ends up being who I am. Like, and
I love it.
And we started, we extended the night. Now I'm there until 2. It gets really good. So
Yes.
Every Thursday. All my information is on the Instagram.
Yes, ma'am. So you heard it already from DJ Kerry Beats. Come on out, watch her, enjoy her mixes. I mean, you don't even have to dance. Just get there early, sit down, and just watch. And just enjoy. Then you get this great view looking out in the city afuera.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. So we're at the end, and we have La Super Comadre Liliana coming in. And I just want to say one more time, thank you so much for taking the time to be here, for sharing of your story, for sharing your life, for sharing all these pearls of wisdom that I wrote down. I'm going to take a picture and you send it and do what you need to do to spread your message with music. So thank you.
You're awesome.
Woo!
Thank you so much for having me. I love doing this. So please make sure to check me out on Instagram. If I can, ever help anyone, or if you have a question, just drop me a message. It's at Kerry Beats on Instagram. Happy to chat. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Excelente. And we want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank Aroma Mexican Artisan Kitchen for being our sponsor. And also Patron Grill. And of course, Las Cazuelas Mexican Restaurant. Y también queremos agradecerle a BAMSA Global. BAMSA Global, que ya tiene muchos años con nosotros. We're so thankful for your support, y gracias por participar como patrocinadores. Y queremos invitar a todos ustedes, si quieren ser patrocinadores de RadioCristalUSA.com, de los shows de la comadre Claudia Macías, o los shows de Liliana Elizondo, o los shows de Luis Rodríguez, o de todos los que se presentan aquí con nosotros. Hablen directamente con nosotros, hablen directamente con la super comadre Claudia Macías, o Liliana Elizondo, o Luis Rodríguez, o hablen al 281-258-1427 para más informes acerca de los paquetes que tenemos. Recuerde que tenemos paquetes anuales, paquetes mensuales o paquetes de 3 meses. Ustedes sabrán qué es lo que quieren promocionar, ya sea un producto, un servicio o un negocio. ¿Ok? Ya saben, aquí en RadioCristalUSA.com los apoyamos promocionando su negocio. Comadre, no nos podemos ir sin hablar de nuestro patrocinador oficial, que es BAMSA Global. Aquí está. Con todos los servicios de inmigración para toda la comunidad de Houston.
Buenas tardes. ¿Puedo ayudar en algo?
Con todos los servicios de inmigración, BAMSA Global, con casi 40 años de experiencia, los esperan en la 131 North Point Drive. Un aplauso fuerte para BAMSA Global. Gracias por patrocinarnos. Listo,
Sí,
comadre.
tengo dos también otros patrocinadores. Una nueva, quien es Alicia Araujo Elatasi. Ella es como una estilista. Ella tiene mucho tiempo con styling, como si se styling la gente. Y este vestido que tengo puesto hoy es de ella, es prestado o sponsored por de Alicia. Ella me gusta su organización y ha cambiado mucho su organización o su negocio. Y parte es de tener ropa y hacer como intercambio de ropa fina, ¿verdad? Porque dice, a mí me gusta los vestidos, ir a comprar zapatos nuevos. ¿Por qué no tener algo que se puede hacer, como si en el lado de cuidar el ambiente, en vez de comprar y comprar y comprar y deshacernos como si fuera nada, intercambiar entre otras organizaciones? And I'm like, that's really cool. So I'm excited to be wearing one of Alicia Araujo Elatasi's Thinking Boutique stylist and business developer. This is my outfit that's sponsored by her and her organization. And also Chris Pignon, who also always does an amazing job with my promo pics. And these are just a few shots that we took to promote the show this week. And also Alicia and her styling, and also Chris Pignon and his amazing, amazing talent behind the camera. So, gracias a Chris y a Alicia. Chris Pignon with Chris Pignon Media Studios and Alicia Araujo Elatasi, Thinking Chick Boutique.
Eso.
Sí.
Muchas gracias. Gracias a todos por participar como patrocinadores. Thank you so much, comadre.
Bueno,
y aquí estamos. Y Kerry Beats.
Kerry Beats, final goodbye for your audience that's watching and has been enjoying your words of wisdom in your journey.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Again, this is your girl, Kerry Beats, DJ by engineer by day, DJ by night. Come check me out Thursdays at Sunset Houston. Beautiful rooftop, beautiful background. Please check me out on my Instagram. And if you need any bookings or if you need any help with anything that I've said, if you want me to talk to someone that I'm happy to do that too. I love mentoring. So please check me out and message me on Instagram. So I have my handle right here, and my I don't know if everyone can see that, but it's at Kerry Beats on Instagram. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Claudia. This was amazing, so much fun, and I'm looking forward to the quotes.
I know. Thank you. And thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a super busy woman, being an amazing engineer by day and continuing to hone in your craft and grow your DJ passion by night. Gracias.
Thank you for the invitation.
Gracias. Y aquí está la información de su página de Instagram para que la vayan siguiendo. Ok, Kerry Beats. Ok.
Woo!
Listo, comadre. Listo, Kerry Beats. Gracias.
Gracias. Adiós.
Nos vemos. Hasta el próximo martes a las 7 de la tarde con la supercomadre Claudia Macías.
Sí.
Yeah.